Hey everyone, so you live in Hendersonville, you've got a dog, and now you're trying to find just the right trainer. Well, you're in exactly the right spot. We're going to walk through everything you need to know to feel really good about the choice you make for your pup.
So, here's what we've got on top. We'll start with what makes having a dog here unique, then look at training styles, how to actually find a trainer, what to ask them, and finally, some local rules and resources. Let's go. Okay, first up, your Hendersonville dog. Let's talk about what it takes to have a great canine citizen right here in our community. Having a dog in Hendersonville is just special. It's more than a walk in the park. It's being able to stroll down Main Street, maybe sit outside at a cafe. But then you think about something like the Apple Festival, right? It's a ton of people, all kinds of sounds, new smells. A well-trained dog can handle all that excitement without getting stressed. That's what makes it fun for both of you. And that's why finding a trainer who really gets Hendersonville is so important. They'll know what your day-to-day looks like, whether it's busy sidewalks or just being polite at Jackson Park. They'll help you set goals that actually fit your life here. Okay, so now that we know why we're training for our local lifestyle, let's look at the what and how. We'll cover the different methods and types of classes you'll see out there. Let's talk about positive reinforcement. Honestly, this is the way to go in modern training. It's all about rewarding the good stuff. Your dog sits instead of jumping on your friend? Great, they get a treat or some praise. You're not just teaching a command, you're building this awesome bond of trust with your dog, and it really works. And just a quick heads up, if you come across a trainer who wants to use fear, pain, or intimidation, just walk away. Those methods are old school for a reason. They can actually make problems worse and really damage the trust you have with your dog. Now you've got options. Group classes? They're fantastic for getting your dog used to being around other dogs and people. Plus, it's great practice for focusing when there's a lot going on. But if you've got a specific issue at home, say your dog goes nuts when the doorbell rings, then private lessons might be your best bet for that one-on-one help. And there are a few other formats too. In-home training is awesome because the trainer comes right to you, so you can work on things right where they happen, like counter surfing. Day training is a solid choice if you have a packed schedule, and board and train. That's where your dog stays with a trainer. It's intense, for sure, but you really have to do your homework and check out the facility and their whole approach. All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, finding your trainer. We're going to talk credentials and, of course, cost right here in Henderson County. So here's the thing. North Carolina doesn't have a state license for dog trainers. That means certifications are a really helpful way to see who's serious about their profession. Seeing something like CPDTK after a trainer's name means they've actually passed a big test on training knowledge. If you're dealing with something more complex, like anxiety, a certification like CBCCKK shows they have specialized expertise in behavior. Okay, let's talk money. What does dog training actually cost around Hendersonville? All right, so here's a general idea of what you can expect. A typical 6-week group class will probably set you back somewhere between, say, $150 and $275. If you go for private lessons at your house, a package of a few sessions could be in the $400 to $800 range. Of course, prices vary, but this gives you a ballpark figure to work with. Okay, so you found a few trainers you like the sound of. Awesome. Now it's time to interview them. Let's go over exactly what you should be asking. Here are your 5 must-ask questions. You're going to want to know their philosophy, right? What methods do they use? Ask about their education and certifications. Make sure they're creating a plan specifically for your dog, not just some cookie-cutter program. And you should ask how you'll be involved and how you'll know you're making progress. Finally, always ask for a clear breakdown of the costs. A true professional will have no problem answering any of this. Great training isn't just for you and your dog, it's about being a good neighbor. So let's talk about some local rules here in Hendersonville and some awesome places to go practice. Okay, when it comes to local rules, what's the number one thing you've got to know? 6 feet, that's it. In Hendersonville, your dog needs to be on a leash that's 6 feet or shorter anytime you're in a public place. Super simple to remember. And a few other things to keep on your radar, that rabies tag needs to be on your dog's collar at all times. Also, if your dog barks a lot, that can actually be a nuisance violation. And one last thing, while the trainers themselves don't need a license, the place they work out of does if they board dogs overnight. So where can you go to put all this new training into practice? Well, the dog parks at Jackson Park and Patton Park are fully fenced, so they're great for practicing coming when called. The Ocklawaha Greenway is perfect for working on that loose leash walking. And if you're a hiker, you can't beat DuPont State Forest for practicing trail etiquette.
When you put it all together, the goal is pretty simple. It's having a happy, confident dog that you can take anywhere in Hendersonville. Whether you're just hanging out downtown or heading out for a hike, you can do it together.
So think about it. What kind of life do you want to build with your dog? Putting in this effort now just opens up so many doors. A well-trained dog isn't just easier to live with. They're a joy to have around. They can be a welcome guest at a friend's house and the best partner for exploring everything our town has to offer. I wish you both the very best on your training journey.